and welcome back to another edition of Racing Basics with Rick Mast, real live race car driver, former Cup driver Rick Mast. I'm Buzz Cutler. This is where Rick explains all things racing.
I'll try.
To all of us.
Yes.
So Rick, you coming in for a pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
Driver's been complaining. Mm-hmm. And we hear, whoever it is, Jamie Little saying, well, they put in around a wedge or they made a track bar adjustment. Mm-hmm. What really are they doing? What is wedge? What is track bar? And what do they do?
Well, the track bar is a rear bar that connects the rear end housing to the frame, and the height of it determines the rear roll center of the car.
Okay. So what does that translate into when you change that rear roll center? What does that feel like? What does it actually do?
Well, okay, basically, generally speaking, the higher the rear roll center, the more the car wants to be loose, the lower, the more it wants to be tight. Okay?
Okay.
Each car has a center of gravity height.
Right.
Okay, that's set. That's what the car is. The center of gravity height of that car, whatever it might be.
And that affects how it turns.
Well, each car, you have a center of gravity height. Everything has a center of gravity height. Some higher than others, some lower than others. Okay. The roll center of the car is the pivot point of which the center of gravity height rotates about.
It's like a spindle almost. Think of it like a spindle and it's turning around.
Think of it as the roll center. Think of it as the the center of gravity height of a race car, maybe 16, 17 inches above ground. Okay? The track bar height, say you've got it at 8 inches above the ground. Okay? Here's the track bar. Here's the center of gravity height.
Okay.
The car rotates between these two spots. In other words, it wants to rotate from, like, this is the roll center and this is the center of gravity. That's where it rolls. Mm-hmm. It comes from here, it pivots right here.
And so when you adjust the track bar height, you're adjusting that.
Yeah, sort of the weight, not really the weight transfer, but the amount of body roll, you might say. And it gets real complicated.
All right, because I'm not sure I understand it any better now than I did 5
minutes
ago.
Well, the best way to look at it is the higher the track bar, the looser.
Okay.
The lower the track bar, the tighter.
So then what's wedge?
Well, that's a little more complicated.
Oh, good.
But basically, if you're in a helicopter looking down on top of the race car,
okay,
the car's going forward, right?
Uh-huh.
You're looking at the top of the race car, right front, right rear, left front. You make an X. You draw a line from the right front to the right rear tire. Mm-hmm. Draw another line from the left front to the right rear tire. Mm-hmm. Okay, the right rear and left rear tire. The weight of those two tires match to the weight of the left front right rear tire. Mm-hmm. That's how you figure the wedge percentage. When the right front and left rear weigh the same amount as the left front right rear, that's 50% wedge, or zero. Well, you call it figure 50%. 51% wedge is when the right front and left rear tires combined weights are 1% heavier than the left front right rear weights.
All right, so why would you adjust that?
The more weight on right front, left rear, very simply, like the track bar, the more weight on right front, left rear over the left front, right rear, the more push you got. When the right front and left rear are heavier, that makes more wedge.
Okay.
Okay? The more wedge means push. Less wedge means loose.
Okay.
And that's what you're doing. You're comparing right front, left rear tire to left front, right rear tire.
So you use track
like
bar
this.
And you use wedge to adjust a loose or a tight condition.
Correct.
You lower the track bar to become tighter.
Correct.
And you increase wedge to become tighter.
Correct.
All right. So how it works, we don't need to know. All we need to remember.
That's the end result.
Lower the track bar to tighten it up, increase wedge to tighten it up.
Correct.
All right.
And different parts of the racetrack.
Oh, now don't get any more complicated.
Yeah.
Now.
I mean, it all affects in different parts of the track and which track you're on and what spring setup you got.
All right. It's Racing Basics with Rick Mast. We'll be back with another topic of discussion, hopefully a simpler one, an easier one for my feeble mind to understand.
No, I don't understand it either, so I just know what it does.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.